settings that can help your performance in game is that I think will help. A lot of these are not like all of them, but the ones that impacted me the most, that got me to the rank that I currently am. So we're gonna take a look at regular settings menu. Um, Starting out with our system settings, we're gonna go to about. Also, one great thing, just check that your advanced display settings are at your current refresh rating, your highest refresh rating, so you're not like running at a solid 60 hertz when you could be running at 144. So yeah. Going to about, we're gonna check the advanced system settings. I'm on Windows 10, so it'll look completely different, but check out your advanced system settings. Under the advanced tab, it'll have a settings. So basically, generally what it's going to be is let Windows decide what it's going to be best. You're going to want to go to custom. A lot of these are complete bullshit settings. They will not help you. You can see my Windows looks pretty. Most of these are off. So what you're going to do is click on adjust for best performance, which will turn all of these off. Going to want to go to custom, enable peak, show thumbnails instead of icons, smooth edges of screen fonts. So basically, these three will basically make your thumbnails on the bottom of your screen, like Spotify, OBS, they'll make it look pretty. They won't make it look like shit. The next couple of settings you're going to have is under notifications. Turn off notifications. Generally, you're going to want to change your background to a solid color. Why? It helps a little bit. If you have like a picture, it'll pull up some bullshitty Windows picture of like a fucking bird, and you don't want that. Colors. Turn transparency effects off. It does not like make it look prettier in my opinion, and it shaves your little FPS. Next, we're going to go to offline maps. You're going to want to turn muted connections off and automatically update maps off. I don't know why they have it downloaded so like it's like fucking Google Maps. That's just not it. Windows doesn't need this, but I'm sure an engineer could use it. Startup. So this is really important. Generally you can do the same thing from your task manager, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. So what you're going to do is make sure everything's off, maybe excluding this, which is the anti-cheat. So you're going to want to have that on in task manager. So task manager, startup, and basically you're going to see here, it's basically the same thing, just looking a lot less pretty. You can just double check it. Mouse settings, perfect. Additional mouse options. So don't change your cursor speed. Please don't do that. Make sure it's on 6. So should be right in the middle. Basically, you should be able to, how to show you, go all the way back here and go this. Oops. Well, the one that it's on counts as 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you should be in the center. And usually on your default Windows computer, you're gonna have enhanced border precision on. Turn that shit off. It's when getting out of like Diamond to Ascendant. This was one of the things that I swear it's not placebo. Actually helped me. The common thing in here is having a lot of shit off, but it does help a lot. So another great thing that helps. Game bar. Turn this shit off. Forgot to put this in here, so I'm adding it now. Gaming, graphic settings. Make sure this is on. You have to restart your computer. All good. Next, graphic settings, performance. Make sure that's desktop app. Browse. You're gonna want to go to this PC, local disk, your C drive, Riot Games, Valorant, Live, and you're gonna want to add Valorant. So click that and add it. Next, it'll take you to there. Then go back in. This PC, C drive, Riot Games, Valorant, Live, shooter game, binaries, Win64, and then there should be Win shipping, which is gonna show up as this one. Add it. You're going to click on this one, options, make sure it's high performance, showing your graphics card, high performance, showing your graphics card, and that's it. For our background apps, turn this shit off. You can honestly like scroll down here and see like, oh, is there anything important that I need? Nothing. Like, the calculator, fuck no. So, which I will. Okay, I'll do that. Ethernet. Hopefully, if you have a desktop and you want to consider really competitive Valorant and you don't have a laptop, or if you have a Ethernet cable for your laptop. Well, regardless, don't play Valorant on Wi-Fi. It sucks dick. So, what we're going to want to do here is adapter options, click on here, right click. Oh, I should probably say what I'm doing. So, go to related settings, change adapter options, Ethernet, properties. And what we're going to want to do is turn every single thing off except for Internet Protocol version 4. Especially, you might be confused, especially with the Protocol version 6. You only need this. If you're a gamer, you only need this. And then you can click on here, click properties right here. You can't right click it, unfortunately. And you're going to want to keep this on, but for DNS server, we're going to want to use the DNS server I have provided. I believe this is Google's DNS server, so I'd like to think you're kind of stealing from Google, which is pretty swag, but if you're not, well, you get a little better connection. It should be set to automatic, use following, validate settings upon exit. Okay, boom, you should be good there. I shouldn't have to tell you, most of the settings videos are going to like completely like treat you like a fucking baby and like tell you to like update, Windows update, use, if you have a nvidia card, download GeForce Experience. This is an actual piece of advice. Download GeForce Experience. It makes things for your local dumbass like me very easy. Oh yeah, this next bit is for generally Discord users only. I'm sure you're using Discord if you play with friends in Valorant, so I just added this segment in. Go to advanced, and you're gonna want to turn hardware acceleration off. I believe this makes it easier if you're playing fucking Discord games. You want to play like the little putt that they have in there. Windows settings. Click on on open Discord and off minimize the tray. Game overlay. Turn it off. This will have like the nice pretty thing in here, so you know who joins call. Honestly, it's kind of nice. I have it turned off, but it is nice. If I had like Shazam's PC, I would have it on, but if you don't, this will help you a little bit. Alright, oh, forgot about before I go in Valorant settings, more bullshit to talk to you guys about. NVIDIA control panel. And now this becomes less about performance and more about it looking pretty. So then you're gonna 3D settings, and you're gonna wanna like copy what I have, kind of word for word, bar for bar here. Anisotropic filtering, you're gonna wanna have on application controlled. This should be off, because anti-aliasing FFXA, you will never use that in Valorant especially, but off, off, off. On, off. So I'll go slowly for y'all. Driver default, this on. Low latency mode, I put on ultra, that basically means like, the amount of time I swipe my mouse here and here, it'll pick it up faster. That's just the layman's way of explaining it. Max frame rate, I have that off, but specifically because I have a decent computer. If you want to set a frame rate, go for it. Monitor technology, this is kind of personal preference, but I can put fixed refresh if I really wanted to. I have decent compatible because it looks fucking pretty, sue me. But generally most of y'all are gonna want to have fixed refresh on. Power management mode for maximum performance, that is perfect. Refresh rate, highest available. You should generally have it on highest available, whether it's 144, 75, 240, 360. Always the highest refresh rate. It won't hurt. It actually will help the most, actually. But on, allow, you're going to see the common theme here is that you're going to want to have high performance. Triple buffering, I have that on off. That should be about it for this. Video color settings. Brightness, 50%. Contrast, 50%. You generally don't want to tweak these. Rule of thumb. If you really want to be special, change 52, 52. You might see a difference. I personally wouldn't do that. Digital vibrance, I have on 100. Just because, like, again, this is a budget monitor. I want as many vibrance as I need. If you have, like a ridiculously expensive monitor, like, what is it? The BenQ. If you have a BenQ, 240 hertz, keep that shit on 80, but you kind of can play it by ear. Like, if I turned this down to 50, everything will look pretty fucking monotone in comparison. So I keep on 100, but that's up to you. Generally, I'd want to stay around from anywhere from 70 to 100. I think that's pretty much rule of thumb. Resolution should be native. If you want to play on stretch res, which will give you no competitive advantage in Valorant. I don't care how many true stretch res videos you see on the internet. They're all scams. They'll ask you to like download some app. I'm pretty sure if you're internet savvy, click off that shit as far as possible. But if you like it because of preference, because if you're like a CS:GO geek, you're gonna want to change this in here too. So that would help. 3D settings should be good on that. And now I'm gonna show Valorant settings, what I think will help best. I guess I have to go in the range and give my 2 cents about all of this, so that's what we'll do. So, what I like, general rule of thumb, yellow outlines. I pick yellow outlines. There's a reason behind this. Better visibility, right? I think yellow outlines have the best visibility. There are some my eye doctor geeks in the chat who will say that red is the best because of reaction time. Now, do I agree with this? Perhaps. Do I pick yellow every time? Yes. I choose the DEU over Pro because I think Pro has a very minor like visibility thing. You'll see Tens uses Pro. Well, that's because he's actually fucking colorblind. Purple, there's the argument that if you're a Viper main, you can see inside your pit better. If you're a one-trick Viper main, well, I respect you a lot, but there's no need to use purple. It's the worst out of the 3. But I mean, like, if you're a little aesthetic person, I mean, I think it looks pretty aesthetic. I like the purple. Unfortunately, I'm not, so I'm using yellow. Raw input buffer. You'll hear a lot of people, especially in 2022, 2021, bitching about how raw input buffer is the next reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Sorry to all my Christians out there, but I honestly feel like I overflick a lot with this, but I mean, it doesn't help, it doesn't hurt, but this is generally for mice that have a polling rate of, I believe it's 8,000 or over 1,000. I think it's 8,000 though. So I have a Logitech G Pro Superlight, and most of you guys are gonna have it's something similar with polling rate. Most gaming mice today, unless you're spending like a fortune, have 1,000 polling rate, and you're gonna want to keep the polling rate at 1,000. I'm not gonna bother to go over it, but generally, I think your DPI should be 800, and your polling rate should be at 1,000. Sorry, yeah, 1,000. And yeah, general settings. I have rotate on. I like it. Don't keep player centered on. I don't really want to have to explain the reasoning and go into a deathmatch because I'm very lazy. But keep it off because the easiest way to explain it is that it'll limit your visibility on the map. So I might have to go in the. No, I'm not. So it'll basically limit how much you can see. So if I'm here and someone else is here, I won't be able to see them. Whereas if you keep it off, you will be able to. I keep my minimap pretty fucking small. This is completely up to personal preference. How big of a monitor? Are you playing on a Samsung TV? Well, you might think about changing it to be smaller. That is completely up to you. Minimap vision cones, I always keep on. I'll explain sensitivity later. Again, it's preference. Hide my name, streamer mode. Yeah, a bunch of bullshit. You don't really need to use any of that. Oh god. Okay, first person handedness. So I use right. I'm one of the very few people that should be using right, but it's default. So pretty much anyone who hasn't seen this video or something similar has it on right. Basically, what you're going to want to do is this is eye test. You could be right eye or left eye dominant. Look it up. I'll look it up for you. Fuck it. Perfect. So eye dominance testing. You're gonna want to look at a small object in your room, whether it's like a fucking pencil or like your ceiling fan light. So you're gonna look up there, hold like a little triangle, like a little fucking Zelda Triforce, or just a fucking circle with your fingers holding like this picture right here. You're gonna want to make sure the object is in the direct center. Then you're gonna want to close your right eye. So if you close your right eye and it doesn't move, you're gonna want to have your shit on right-handed mode. If you close your eye here and it doesn't move, you're gonna want to have it on right-handed mode. Sorry, here. So the example is left eye closed, it stays in the center, and it doesn't move a mile. You're gonna want to be on left. So right, left, right, left. That should be the general rule of thumb. Again, this picture explains it probably a little better. Left eye shut, and it stays in the center, right eye dominant. And then left eye shut, left eye dominant. So pick one. There's a better way to explain this, but again, it's placebo. I feel like sometimes if I'm on left-handed mode, so say this is Haven Long, left-handed, there it is. I'm here, some shit will block. Like, I guarantee there's gonna be a moment in time where it'll block something. But again, you can say that about right, so here we are today. But generally, just go with what the eye thing says. Always show inventory, off. Show mature content. I keep that on. I think that has to do with allowing the blood setting to be available, so you're gonna have blood on. Corpses, off. Generally, like, you don't want a bunch of fat-ass corpses in your way, especially if you're a Sage main. I don't know why you would be maining Sage if you're taking Valorant seriously, but if you do, it helps not resing the wrong body. That would be embarrassing in your comp game. So, show blood on. If you think someone, you want to see it. Network buffering, keep it to minimum. I heard Tens going on a rant about saying, like, turning it to maximum or moderate will, like, help you with, like, I think it's Peeker's advantage, but Tens is, like, always off a beam. He always changes his opinions, like, day to day, so don't listen to that. He's a very good player, very great aimer. Don't listen to him about settings. I did that for a long time. Worst mistake of my life. Show spectator count, placebo. If you're, like, nervous during a clutch and you don't want to see how many people are spectating you, turn it off. I'm not. I have a big cock, so I keep that on. Bullet tracer's on. The reason is, quote-unquote, controlling your spray. If you want that to be, like, on, you can basically see it, and it's better for, honestly, like, legitimately, it's better for doing it through smokes, right? So, on. Team color for crosshair color, keep that off. Hiding UI in-game, completely off. That's, like, for the people like Joel's who want to troll your games with, like, no UI. This is what it'll do. It'll turn off your UI with no abilities, especially if you don't use crosshair. It looks silly. The worst effect is you don't know how much damage you take, but if you want to throw with your friends in a custom, go for it. Hide first-person arms off. Outlines is the worst thing. It'll make it look like CSGO. So if you can play with this, you're honestly a much better player than I am. But if you're, like, ADHD and you need to see bright colors to shoot people, that is what you'll be using. Basically, everything else is obviously personal preference. You don't need to fuck with anything here. Don't look at my controls. They're all very shitty. They work for me and work for me only. But some general aiming tips is all about I can give you. ADS, I used to have this on hold when I was, like, diamond and platinum. Worst decision. ADS and toggle. In my opinion, when you have it on hold, it'll limit the amount of, like, gunfights you can take while you're ADS, right? So it might be good if you're, like, holding dashing away, right? But if you're, like, wanting to take 3 people on at once, having it on toggle is just gonna, like, let you focus on your aim. Same thing with sniper rifle. You're gonna want to have this on toggle, operator zoom on toggle, hold on cycle, and reader scope on. Reader scope is the best thing since sliced bread, and, like, this shit will change your life, especially with a marshal. You're on an eco. I cannot tell Jet players enough to go marshal on defense on their eco or on their force round. So basically, what it does is you can hold toggle, which is what you should be doing already. Hit a headshot, it auto re-enters the scope. So if you're, like, fighting Haven Long and it's already pressed up, whether if it wasn't, you would have to, like, continuously go and scope it. It would be so bad, but this allows the least amount of time, so that is amazing. A lot of people will tell you to use your number keys, which is true. I agree with that, but, like, I think that's one of the least things you should worry about to improve your gameplay. I use the scroll wheel, and maybe, like, 1 out of 1,000 times I'll be affected by, like, switching it. But yeah, very bad. Here, auto-equip priorities. I keep most recently equipped. Some people will tell you strongest. They're lying. Don't auto-equip melee. Awful. It's bad. It'll catch you out in a gunfight. Imagine, like, you have your knife out, you're, like, doing this, dash into a smoke, and then you have your knife out. That would suck, right? So you're gonna want to have that off. Auto-equip priorities. Don't do strongest. I honestly think that, like, it's debatable, but I saw a Jet in my ranked game, do that, and then have his shorty out, updraft dash on someone, and then since it was put to strongest, he had his operator out, and do you know how that went? With hop shot, and we lose the round when he was 1 HP. So, don't be like Mr. Jet from my ranked game, and have it terminally equipped. Communication. You don't need to copy any of this. Everything that I say in here, don't listen to me. Crosshair. Also personal preference. This is the one that I'm using right now. I like it very much. It's the standard CNET EA crosshair. I keep it set to white. I like it to white for some reason. But there's some color theory nerds in the comments who will tell you that yellow is best with blue, and that red is best with green, and that purple is also best with green. But I think that yellow is the best, and then since yellow is the best for cyan, I don't want to be changing my crosshair on every map, and I don't want to have to get used to a different color. So the reason why I would change it is because blue, oh my gosh, it blends in with the sky, and you know it has a lot of sky and shit on it? Breeze. So this shit will blend in with your map, and I just like to have a nice white crosshair. Just, it fits everything, right? Again, on the video settings, I don't want to, like, harp on what settings you should be going, because it's different for everyone, but some general things. Full screen, keep it on. Don't go windowed. Don't go windowed full screen. It sucks. Maybe I could make an argument if you're a streamer and you need to tab out fast, but if you want to rank up, full screen, letterbox, keep all that on. Limit FPS, keep it on if you really need to. I keep it off because mine can go over 360, but it's nice to keep it capped. Honestly, I should have it capped. Low latency, if you have a, I'm sorry, I think it's a 30. If you have a really nice NVIDIA graphics card, I keep it on plus boost. If it's like a lower tier one, like I think like if it's a GTX and not an RTX, you put it on on. And if you don't, I don't think it should be showing up at all if you have an AMD. So keep that off. But if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, on or on plus boost. No way that you should have an NVIDIA card and be keeping that off. It's a lifesaver and it helps with input display. So that is the greatest thing I've ever done. Graphic settings, multi-threaded rendering on. Everything here on low. You can make an argument for UI quality as it, like, I don't know, makes everything look a little more pretty. I don't agree with that. Keep it on low. There's some also people like average nerd, average Jonas, who will tell you to keep everything on medium. And you know, there's some things about like you can see silver lineups better. Fuck you, average. No, I'm kidding. Fuck you, average Jonas. I'm not. Keep everything on low. In the long run, it'll help you. Vignette basically makes like a dark thing. I don't know if you can see it, but it's in all the corners of my screen. It creates like a cinematic effect, kind of, and it's supposed to like placebo affect you into thinking that like you'll be able to aim in the middle of your screen better. It doesn't, and it kills your FPS. Don't do it. VSync. This is just a tip for all competitive FPS shooters. Keep that off. Anti-aliasing. This is placebo. You can do anything you want except for FFXA. Keep it on none. 2x, 4x. I keep it on 4x because I like how smooth it is. Like, the heads are so smooth. That's just me. You can run it on anything and still get away with it. But if you have like a lower NPC, keep it on none. It doesn't really affect it that much. I put it on none. It doesn't really affect it. But this will hurt your FPS, so keep it on none. 16x. It basically makes like kind of how good your gun skins look, how detailed they are. It doesn't affect FPS much. That's why I have it on 16x. But if you're really an FPS nerd, keep it on 1. Improve clarity off, sharpening off. Bloom. You can keep this on and off. It'll save you FPS, but you know why I like it? Look at the training bot. He has a fucking spotlight coming out of his eye. I'm gonna turn it off, bro. He's sad. I don't like that. So I keep it on there for that specific reason. No, but also, it like makes your gun skins like have like a glow inside of them, which I think is pretty cool. And I believe it has some effects on how like glowy the map is. It hurts your FPS. I don't think you need it, but I keep it on. It's up to you, depending on whether you have a nice PC. Client FPS, I just have on text only. Game latency text only. Who cares about all that shit? Over here, you're gonna want to have voice chat. I'm not even gonna speak to you about that. You should already know. Output should be your headset. Mic input should be your mic. Yeah, that does not matter. What was I gonna show you guys? Sounds. Enable HRTF. It'll take a little bit getting used to. It's the best thing that you can do. Suddenly you'll be hearing things across the map that you'll never be able to hear without it off. Stereo. Keep it on stereo. I guess I should explain it. Stereo makes you hear from both sides. So if someone's walking on your left side, you'll hear that on your left and not your right. Mono is awful because if you hear something on your left, you'll hear it from both sides. Mono kind of means it's coming from both sides. Stereo means that it's kind of set to a specific thing. So if I drop my gun here, you'll hear it on that side. Mono, you'll hear it on both sides. So it's no bueno at the least. And that should be all for the Valorant settings. This video's gonna take so fucking long, isn't it? Okay, so next thing is peripherals. Basically, it is up to your decision, and I will explain later, but in the next couple seconds. But headset does not matter. I think this is the best budget headset. Occasionally you can get this headset on Amazon for $50. I got mine for $50. It's just a nice headset. Make sure little quality control. There should be a 7.1 surround sound on your headset. Keep it off. It's nice for watching movies, not for gaming. Should be right there. But this is one of the best headsets. A lot of the pros use it. If that's any indicator of why you buy your stuff. Another great thing that I use is prosettings.net. It has everybody's settings on here. So, and their peripherals. So that's what you can base it on. But I'll explain why you shouldn't be doing that later. So here, I use the Artisan Zero. It's a very spongy pad, and it's very, very high quality. There are an option for the X-Soft, which makes it a little more spongy. I use this because it pairs well with the Superlight. I use the regular Superlight 1 because I just bought it before the Superlight 2 came out. And in my humble opinion, if you want to save some money, go get the Superlight. It's $100 instead of 160. The Superlight 2 is better, but not for the money. The only difference is the 2000 polling rate, but like, you really can't tell the difference. I'm saying that as someone who doesn't own a 2000 polling rate mouse, but you can't tell the difference. It's like the difference between 240Hz and 360. They look exactly the same. Maybe some minor differences. If you have money, fuck it, go for it. But if you want to save some money and get one of the best gaming mouses, in my opinion, I'm sure there's better, but I love this mouse. I'm using it. Artisan Zero goes great with it. Both of these are very expensive. I can't really give you like a budget option. That would be the same thing as the Superlight, but they sell them on Amazon. But I'd say don't overpay for it. You can get the G640 for cheaper, like $30. But if you can afford it, the Artisan is a really nice pad. So explaining about pro settings and why you shouldn't necessarily copy them. So I use a Superlight, which you can go in here, which will kind of like narrow it down. And then I also use an Artisan, if I can spell Artisan Zero. So that'll narrow it down to every pro player who uses the Superlight and the Artisan Zero. So it's going to be a little weird here because they'll also show the X-Soft, but I usually just press here again, and it'll divide everything into the soft category. So anything here and here is what I use. And also you can like kind of base it on your favorite player. So I'm currently using Bang settings. I like them a lot. They're for me. But again, like, you should find what works for you. That's the best advice I can give you, because how to put it best? So this is a very bad example, but so you have Artis, who plays on 0.27, pretty big dude, plays on 0.27. Then you have a Twig like Bang 0.32.
I don't want to explain it, but they are playing in a different sense. And what I'm saying is everyone's like, the way they flick their mouse is different. So 0.32 on artists will feel different than 0.32 on bang. And they're also two completely different people. So I would say what works for you, but I use per settings to kind of give myself like, if I need a starting point, I'll go to like Jake. Okay, that'll be my lowest starting point. Pretty good player. And then my ceiling will be like RB, also very good player. So I can kind of experiment between there. That's what I kind of did. I went up to my highest and my lowest, experimented with everything, went to Victor. And I was like, oh, that's too low. Went to here, that's too high. Then I finally settled on 0.32. And I love it a lot. But not everyone's going to feel that way. I also use this keyboard. Oh, that is not the keyboard. There we go. Awesome. I use this keyboard. There are nicer keyboards, but this is the best pro. Like pros use this keyboard. That's somewhat inexpensive. So get this keyboard. And it's also small. So if you have a small desk, you'll love it. And it's just simple. And if you use the Superlight, Logitech G Hub, it works for both. So you can like adjust your DPI from there. So that's about it.